Hello, this is Tasty Eats by Tess. Today we're going to be making buttermilk biscuits with raisins. So let's go ahead and get started. What I have here is 2 cups of self-rising flour. This is for someone who is pressed for time. Let's say you're having company over, or you want to make a quick weeknight bread. You don't really have time to do that. So you can use the buttermilk biscuit recipe for that. So in the two cups of self-rising flour, all self-rising flours usually have salt. Not all, but the majority have salt in them. So we'll go ahead and get started. This is 2 cups of self-rising flour. You don't have to pay attention to what you're doing. Just add in here 1 cup of very cold buttermilk. Just pour everything inside. You're going to use 1/2 cup of raisins, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening. So you just get right in there and actually use your hands because it's a lot easier. So it incorporates really nicely. It's going to be a very wet dough. When you're using a shortening in a biscuit, what happens with this is it cooks on a very high temperature. So it comes out much more fluffy in the end. You're going to think that, wow, that's, a very sticky dough. Yes, it is. But it has to be that way. You cook it on a high temperature. It has a nice amount of liquid in there. If you put it on a lower temperature, it's going to come out as a drier biscuit. So we'll go ahead and get this started. And you just pour it out and work the remainder together. Very sticky dough. We're also going to have to add a little bit of flour on the top so you can pat it together. Because this dough you don't overwork. You just want to pat it together like that. If you hear it, nice and fluffy, nice and soft. Completely different than the majority of any other biscuit I've ever made. So we'll go ahead with that. Fluff it down. And pat it like that. And that's just perfect. We want that, I would say, about 1/2 inch. Just dust a little of that flour off as we go. And if you have your cutter, just move it around in the flour a little bit. And that's actually helping it not to stick to your cutter. So we just go ahead and cut some of those. This is a very small batch, so you might want to double that if you're having company. And this goes into a cold cast iron pan that's already been greased with your vegetable shortening. Again, you'd want to use the vegetable shortening, keeping in line with the whole recipe. So we'll just continue with that. And you can bring this together and get another biscuit or 2 out of that. And again, just keeping it light and soft. It's very fluffy dough. That fits one here, and we'll have one actually for the middle. Good. There's one more coming out here. Perfect. And these come out so fluffy inside. You won't be able to believe that. And so tasty. Great. So we'll go ahead and get those in the oven, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Once it becomes golden brown on the outside, you don't have a timer on these. They cook very quickly because they're on 500. We're not losing the moisture, keeping that in. As soon as they're golden, that's it. Just take it out. Okay, I hope you enjoy. Right back. Great, so I just took those out of the oven. They look fantastic. You can, if you want them to look a little more sheen on the top, you can put a little bit of butter on the top if you'd like. I like to leave it just like that because they do look fantastic. So if you look on the bottom, you'll see that although it was a high temperature and although it was a cast iron frying pan, you would have thought that possibly they could burn on the bottom. They don't do that because it goes in cold. So let's take a look at how they look inside. Look at that. Light, airy, fluffy. Great. So I hope you enjoyed my video today. Great, so have a good day.